Welcome to episode 16. We have a lot to go on today. We are going to be diving into the Aaron Rodgers saga with the Jets. He's visiting with them. We're going to be talking about a lot of news, some naughty teenagers up in the Madison metropolitan area. But we're going to be diving into a lot of stuff today. Interview, we have Baxter Colburn on. He is the owner of Colburn Creative. He's out of De Pere, Wisconsin. We talk about his journey becoming a videographer, working with a lot of people around that area, networking, all that great stuff, what it takes to be a videographer and own your own business in the state of Wisconsin, and kind of his journey. So we appreciate all you guys. We're going to dive right in. Like I said, we're going to be the place for all you guys to listen to the news without it just being the normal corporate news you see on the, where we're going to give it a little twist. Mm-hmm. Best friend, Corey, Kyle, we're idiots. We're going to have fun. This is what we're going to do. Let's ride right in. All right, so we have a lot to talk about today. We have a bunch of news segments we're going to dive into. I start us off. Student hit with a baseball bat at Vel Phillips Memorial High School in Madison, Wisconsin, in the bathroom. Kyle, reel me this. How are you getting a baseball bat in the bathroom?
So, did you read into the article? Did a student clock another student? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Damn, all you'd have to do is go to the gym class area.
That's a lot.
Sneak a bat.
You don't sneak a bat.
You can sneak a bat.
How?
Put it in your sleeve or your pants. Just walk like normal with it at your side.
Yeah. No, that's not. But anywho, naughty. So what I'm seeing is that the student who got hit had no significant injuries. So I'm almost wondering if they were just messing around and he got hit. And he also wasn't too mad about it.
Or we're rolling up on baseball season here.
Mm-hmm.
They could be in practice or something, or going to practice, and the one kid just pulled it out of his bag and cranked him
in the bathroom.
I was gonna say something, but I probably shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't.
You know what I was gonna say?
No, you probably shouldn't.
Keep going.
Vel Phillips Memorial High School. Do better. All right, Kyle, hit us up. What we got?
We kind of talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but A-Rod to talk to the Jets.
Yeah. So he is actually already talking. Apparently, the owner, the owner of the Woody Johnson, the coach, the Nathaniel Hackett, who was his coach in Green Bay, mm-hmm. who's now the coach with the Jets. They all flew out to California, where Aaron is living. He's staying, living in his house, yeah. And Aaron met them at the airport, picked him up, and they're rendezvousing as we speak. So I'm not sure exactly what it means. It just sure damn feels like he's becoming the next Brett Favre.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Is it weird? Is it weird that it's the Jets again? Is it weird at all?
Yeah, I think so. It's just a book that we got to close and move on to the next chapter.
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers, I think that some people don't understand is a lot of people are like, oh, get him out of here, he sucks. It's like, yeah, but he did win a Super Bowl. He's been really, really, really good for like a decade.
Also, so here's my thing too. Do you let him leave? He plays a couple years, then you bring him back and retire him as a Packer.
Yeah, I think you learn from the Brett Favre thing
forever. Yeah,
because there was a big stage. I mean, then he went to the Vikings. Well, should have went to a Super Bowl there, but he didn't. But anywho, there was definitely bad blood there for a while.
Oh yeah.
So it looks like we're going down the same path.
Yeah, I seen your thing on Facebook. This is a classic.
Yeah, I've seen this story before. Yeah, exactly. We've all seen this story before. It feels just so crazy that Aaron's going to the Jets. It just feels like it's inevitable that's happening. But again, if he ends up staying, I wouldn't be too surprised.
So we miss this whenever we both were gone.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say after he came out of the retreat, the darkness retreat? Because I missed.
For one, he stayed for 2 days. For two,
how long?
Everyone thought this darkness 4 days. Everyone thought this darkness retreat was gonna be like bad. He was in like a cabin in the woods, but like he could go outside at night, so like you could see in the dark outside. Yeah. So like he wasn't fully like, but he only lasted 2 days. So that's kind of
No commitment there.
no commitment there. Well, really no commitment.
We can't talk bad about him until he leaves.
Yep, until he leaves. All right, moving on to the next segment. We're just sticking with teens being bad in the Madison area. Teens caught on vehicle theft and burglary. It was a 13 and a 15-year-old. The 13-year-old, when the cops came and confronted them, he had an armed handgun on him. He's 13.
Yeah, that's no good.
That's no good. And then the 15-year-old, once he got caught, they realized he had a history. This kid did the exact same thing, and he crashed a car on the Beltline heading to Madison West. So these two kids are... What's going on, Kyle? What's going on with the kids right now?
You know, you say
13,
Beltline and Madison. Just
when I was 13 years old, I was playing Madden on a computer.
Eating fruit roll-ups.
Eating fruit, yeah. I mean, and this kid's hopping in someone's car and ghost riding her down that Beltline.
My dad would have beat my ass. So
I wouldn't be alive if I did that twice. And this guy shows up, and this guy's got a loaded handgun. Yeah. Kids just, Kyle, they got to be better.
Yep.
They got to be better. All right, on to Kyle. Moving forward. Here's the thing. Is it your dad's gun, or do you just have a gun? Like, is that his handgun?
I don't know. You know, different lifestyles.
Also, if you're the cop, are you like,
yo,
whoa, what the fuck? What, the front door?
You know, maybe it's just different culture. You know, it's a
like, I'd be like, dude, is that a gun?
Yeah.
Like, you're 13 years old. What
the way
are
I grew up,
doing?
we didn't have handguns in the house, so that's weird to me.
No,
you know
I would have thought
like,
it was fake, but it very much in the picture looked like a real gun.
Oh, did it?
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. All right, on to the next.
All right, well, this stems right off of Madison.
Yep.
Madison City Council to sue Kia and Hyundai for the lack of security on their automobiles. Last year, that made up 60% of their auto crime.
So what do you mean?
Auto theft.
Oh, because people are getting in them.
Yeah, stealing them easily. That made up 60% of their theft.
So this
automotive theft.
We're called the Shot of Wisco. We're about to be called what's wrong with Madison?
Crime update, Madison.
Yeah. The Madison scanner page, because this is. I mean, I feel like that's like weird. Like, you're blaming the cars.
So next
blame
thing,
your people.
Another thing is how the fuck are you gonna sue a company for their security? Just. I didn't read it a whole lot, but I just kind of caught.
Like, lock your cars better.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's easier to unlock.
I also, this is completely off tangent, but I also, for some reason, had epiphany when I was in Hawaii last week that I think that, hear me out.
Okay.
That when we do these, we do like, so, we're doing these segments like Corey, Kyle.
Yeah.
What if we did like every segment you did, you had to take a shot? Apple pie, maybe. Like nothing like serious.
No, man. I think
that'd be like Shot of Wisco.
Yeah.
You think that's a good idea?
That's a good idea.
Epiphany. Had it a while in Hawaii.
I think we do like 3.
We need to get more drunk.
3, and we mix up the drinks.
Maybe 4-4, depending on the day.
Yeah, we'll see.
5-5.
Yeah.
Wives come and get us?
Really?
Wife and girlfriend come and get us? 6-6? We don't know our names?
I think we mix her up.
7-7? We sleep here?
What is going on here?
All right. Okay.
We mix her up. I think we hit her with some. Imagine like, you got to drink Wild Turkey. Like,
I don't want to drink Wild Turkey. Wild Turkey stinks. That's terrible. I haven't done that since I was like 21. Okay. On to me. Yeah, Madison, be better. All right. On to me. Big Ten tournament starts tonight. Badgers play Ohio State at 5:30. That's in a half hour, guys. So if you're thinking you're going to hear this before, no, it's long gone. We might be season toast, game over.
Yeah, that's true.
Throw us in the trash can type vibes. We don't know yet, but we're going to talk about it. So it's in Chicago this week. A lot on the line for the Badgers. We're not going to say a lot because, like I said, it's in Chicago, Big Ten tournament.
Oh, really? It's not in...
No, it switches every year.
Huh.
And it was in New York like twice, but okay. So the Badgers need to win probably 2 games to make the big dance.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
I knew we were far out,
we're 17 and 13 right now.
Yeah.
There's only been 2 teams with 15 losses that made it. So, or 14 losses that made it.
Comment at that, are you playing prelims or no?
I don't know what prelims mean. Are you in wrestling talk again?
There's like those two brackets at the top.
Oh, no. We'd be like a 12, 13, 14 seed. Badgers need to probably beat Ohio State and then most likely Iowa for the third time this year in order to make the dance. So fingers crossed. That's all I'm going to say. Fingers crossed, applesauce. Let's see what happens. Connor Seagans played well this year. Max has played really well this year. He's Klesmet. He's came into his own. Jordan Davis started shooting the ball very well at the end. Tyler Wall kind of lost his way, but he's starting to kind of figure it out. Chucky Hepburn's been the leader. He's always been. We're adding a bunch of pieces next year. We got Gus Bus coming in.
Gus Bus, baby.
Big boy. Yeah, he's going to be good. Yeah, he's going to be good. So he's coming in next year. So let's just hope it all starts today in about a half hour, Ohio State. Kyle, lead us into the next one.
All right. Remains of a Middleton man found in Germany from World War II. He passed away 78 years ago, and they're finally bringing him home.
How see, I'm just so intrigued.
So I was reading it that there was a battle of some sort in this wooded area, and they were, I'm assuming, looking for artifacts or whatever. Mm-hmm. They came across remains.
This
happens because I had someone, there was one that happened last year where they had remains of someone from Pearl Harbor.
Sure.
So whenever Pearl Harbor happened, they were able to take a piece out and take whatever they could find, and then they have them DNA tested, and then they try to connect with.
That would have to be really cool for the family. Like
I was looking into it because this guy was from Benton. The one guy was from Benton, and they like one of the top like military leaders.
Did you guys see that?
Down.
Did you see that? Well,
yeah. One of the top military leaders come down when they buried him and everything like that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you got to think like when you go to like Germany or anywhere where there was like a big war site, like there's artifacts probably everywhere.
Oh yeah, you see shit on TikTok all the time of people like doing digs. They find like bullets or grenades or guns or whatever.
Dog digs, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. So from Middleton, you said
Middleton
after 78 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, like imagine assuming the parents are gone, but like your brother died.
Yeah.
And they never found him, and then it's like, oh, never mind, we did know. So it's like, now you can bring him home and bury. That's cool.
Very cool. All right. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. Okay. On to me. Bucks win. Bucks beat the Orlando Magic without Giannis and Drew. Bucks are now 18-1 in their last 19. Chris Middleton had his first start. I believe in 30 minutes he had 24 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, played very well. We had 6 players above 12 points. Kyle, this might be the best roster the Bucks have had, including their championship year. With the additions of Jay Crowder, I believe we either signed or we're looking into signing Goran Dragic. We go 9 deep.
Didn't we just sign someone?
I think it was him.
Yeah.
We go 9 deep, and we're getting to a point where we're not going to be able to play everyone, but this is definitely the most talented team Giannis has had around him. You look at players like Javon Carter being our backup point guard. He comes in, gives us great minutes. You look at guys like Bobby Portis, who hasn't played all year, but he is very capable of playing at an all-star level. You have guys like Pat Connaughton, who have been so respected and very reliable. Joe Ingles has played well.
When do you like start getting into playoffs? I don't know shit about the NBA, but
playoffs start, I believe, at the end.
I
believe they start at maybe at the end of I thought it was like April, because I know finals are like in June. So we're very much looking poised to make another run. We just have to stay healthy. Chris Middleton has to keep making those pushes. And Bobby Portis does as well. Brook Lopez keep playing the way he does. Adding what's his name? Shoot, you're not gonna know. Miles Leonard was a huge factor, even though he said some bad stuff. a couple of years ago. But he's been a great addition for us this year. It looks like he's really turned his life around. Bucks in 6. They look like they're kicking ass. We're 18-1. Doesn't look like we should be favored the West way out. We're 2 games above in the first in the Eastern Conference, above the Celtics. Home court all the way through. Very, very exciting stuff. Last thing I have is the Grafton murder mystery, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know about you. Are you into like murder mystery stuff?
Kind of. I mean,
it's intriguing.
I see shit on Netflix, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't go out looking for it. I don't follow any podcasts.
Yeah.
But Grafton, Wisconsin, a man was found in a rental car on the side of a road in Grafton by a police officer. Police officer walked up, said, "This is weird." Found a guy in a rental. He had bullet wounds, definitely shot to death. Let's just kind of play this out. What do we think happened? Nobody heard anything. So, half of me thinks that they killed him, put him in his own rental, or got a rental. Oh. No, wait, because then they'd have track of him. How do you think this played out, Kyle? Let's play this out.
I think they shot him in a car.
You think they shot him in a car?
Yeah, pulled up, bang, bang.
No, but they made it. Okay. In his own rental.
Mm-hmm. Guy owed someone money, dead.
Yeah, that doesn't add up, though.
Sure it does.
No, don't sure it does me.
It does.
Why is he at a rental? Is he not around home?
A rental car. So you're saying
he found dead in a rental.
And he was from here.
No, Texas.
There you go. He flew from Texas here because he owed someone something.
So he owes this guy money. Why would he get? So then he got a rental.
Flew in, rental.
But why would he? So he can't. So
job didn't go down the way that they wanted.
So
it to.
what do you think? Job didn't go down the way you wanted to. What do you mean?
I don't know. Some sketchy shit was going on.
You fly up here and get a rental. You probably have the money that you owe someone.
Nah, not if you don't. Not,
why would you fly up here then?
Because if you owe someone money, they don't have money.
You watch too many movies. No, Kyle. The guys from Texas that died.
Yeah.
So he flew up here, owed someone money in Wisconsin.
Yep.
He didn't have the money, so he flew all the way up here, didn't have the money, told the guy he didn't have money, and they killed him.
Could have.
That's what you think.
Mm-hmm.
See, my detective thoughts are brewing here. This is what I think happened.
Hit me.
Okay. So this guy's from Texas, right?
Okay.
I think he got up here. He's here for work.
Okay.
I think he's here for work.
Okay.
Or alleged work.
Okay.
Maybe cartel stuff. He's from Texas.
Jesus. See, okay.
He doesn't owe anyone money though.
So
but he's in with a couple bad beans.
Oh.
Okay. So he's working for some bad people. Drug deal goes down. He brings the drugs up here. In that rental. That's also a key opponent. If the rental's from here,
That's true. It's true.
If it's from Texas, he brought the drugs up.
Okay.
They had a disgruntled reaction with whoever he's dropping the drug. They killed him.
Bang, bang.
Drove him out to the middle of Grafton. Clean the car, swipe it. Off they go.
So,
free drugs.
Another piece of information was he shot in the car.
They didn't make it seem like they said shot to death, so that must mean he was shot in the car.
So
there's neighbors also right across the street, they said.
We said we weren't going to. Okay, keep going.
No, what?
This has nothing to do. It kind of has something to do with it, but not really.
What?
It has nothing to do. So we weren't going to talk about that Platteville guy, but we need to talk about this. So there's a guy that went missing in Platteville.
Mm-hmm.
They've been looking for him.
Okay. All right, we just went from Grafton to Platteville murder mysteries. Keep going.
But murder mystery somewhat could be. I mean, he could have just died, but
yeah, because that makes sense.
Okay, well, he went missing. Couldn't find him. His last known location was somewhere by Platteville on someone's farm.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know where they went. The county has
his cell phone.
Yeah, his last known location. And he lives somewhere. I could be completely wrong on half of this, but he lives somewhere near Platteville, and something happened that he disappeared one night. They don't know where he was at, and the county, cops, DNR, everyone was out looking for search parties. That was in the fall, from what I remember. So it's been cold, December, freezing cold. Haven't seen any. Ground's been covered. They've been scouring the woods, everything looking, dredging the rivers and shit. And an Amish guy just saw him, pretty sure.
That makes sense. There's a lot of Amish country out there.
He was looking for deer antlers. He was, and he found the remains of this guy. So,
what are they thinking?
What happened?
What do you think happened?
I think someone killed him.
Does he have a wife? Did she kill him?
No, he's only like 26.
Okay. In Platteville. What if the Amish guy killed him? Cover up. Oh, you think he's just out there looking for antlers? What Amish guys ever looked for antlers?
See, I heard it was an Amish guy, but I honestly don't believe that. Unless he's using it for his woodworking, not to stereotypically.
You did. You already did.
Yeah. That's my guess. I don't know.
Okay. So he was on a farm beforehand.
His last known location was at someone's farm, I'd read.
Was it an Amish farm?
No, I don't think so, because I can't remember. I'd have to reread it. Was
there any wounds or anything to his body?
That's not released yet. They just found him.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that they're doing what.
All right, guys. We are slowly but surely becoming a
this is all crime.
Murder mystery podcast.
Crime and sports is all we got right now.
Yeah, crime, sports, and murder mysteries. That's crazy. I personally think this Grafton guy got shot in the back of his car. They drove him out to that middle spot, and then they drove away. Because he didn't get shot there. There was no gunshots there.
Oh, now you tell me that.
I said that multiple times.
After I put my fucking claws together.
He lives right across. Yeah, whatever. He lives right across from this. This guy's parked right across from well, you're pissing me off. This guy. God, if we're gonna be like this, if we're gonna be NCIS cold case files, we're gonna be along these lines. We need to be professional. Okay. Because there's neighbors right across the street and they didn't hear anything, but now they're worried for their own lives. I'm thinking you'd have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Everything's cool.
As long as you didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
If you saw something, I'd watch out. Lock up them doors. Okay, that is it. Grafton, a little update on us. Snowstorm.
We got a snowstorm coming, people.
Yep, snowstorm Friday. Hopefully it's the last one. No, we're not out of it. We're not even close. I'm thinking we'll be out of it mid-April, would be my guess.
I thought we were there. I was getting ready to bust out the fire pit.
It was 40 degrees all week, but just like Wisconsin says, the fuck you are. We're diving right back in. A little update on Wisconsin Clothing Company. We just posted our first A Day in Blank, Wisconsin. It was in Prairie du Chien. The overall census was you guys liked the videos. You liked seeing us go to all these dive bars and all these supper clubs and all these places. So I really appreciate everyone that loved those videos, loved the shorter videos we've been putting on TikTok about that big video. Not only that, we have a spring sale going on until Sunday. 40% up to 40% off, all clothes. $25 you spend, you get a free area code item for your specific area code. So you get a free item for spending $25. Not only that, we have a $5 and $10 bin till Sunday. Check it out. Outside of that, spring line, March 20th. It looks awesome.
You got any sneak peeks for us?
I mean, I do for you. I don't for a podcast that has ears. I mean, we have some like Milwaukee stuff that's like based around. We have drinking stuff. Let's just say all of like the cool, like Budweiser's logo, Busch Lights logo.
Oh,
we redid it so it says Wisconsin. Looks lit in the city. Go.
Litty titty. I got you.
We did Old Milwaukee. You did
a lot of them.
We did Leinenkugels. We did High Noon. We did
just as Wisconsin.
Miller.
Got like
Genuine.
Wisco.
Yeah, it's just Wisco. Yeah. So cool. So that is the podcast, guys. Up next, we have Baxter Colburn. He'll be joining us live from his house in De Pere. He is going to chat about his business, chat about his journey as a owner of a business in Wisconsin, Colburn Creative. He makes videos for other people, other businesses, and tries to help share their story in a better light. So here we go. And we are back with Baxter Colburn. Baxter owns his own business in Wisconsin. He does a lot of videographer work. Do you do photography too, or is it just basically like content creation?
Yeah, I photo on my end as well. Kind of more of a hybrid, I'd like to call myself. So thanks for having me on today, Corey. Big fan of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Kyle, we've been trying to bring, basically what we're doing is we're bringing people from the state of Wisconsin that have their own journey. Everyone's journey is different, right? And we feel like, especially in the videographer world, it's completely different. Where you create, like, you're trying to promote yourself, but you're really, in essence, promoting someone else. You know what I mean? Where it's so intertwined and like different. Like I said, I feel like it's like a weird where you get promoted or you get promotion, like people see you if your video for someone else does well, right? We wanted to basically learn more about it because me and Kyle have no idea what we're doing when it comes to in lines with that. For anyone who is listening, Baxter and I have actually worked together before in a very small shape form, but we planned, trust me, I'd love to be able to work with Baxter more. I think travel is the only thing that's kind of holding us back a little bit are you past, I'm trying to think of where, Appleton? Are you...
Yeah, De Pere proper.
De Pere.
Green Bay.
Okay.
Yep. Couple minutes from the sacred land that is Lambeau Fields.
Let's go. Let's go.
Over there in De Pere. So, yep.
Basically, I'd love for you to give us a little introduction about how you got to a point where you started Colburn Creative and how things are going for you and kind of give us just a little insight on that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I appreciate you guys having me on. My journey into storytelling is a little different than I think a lot of other people's. I didn't go to school for it. I went to school for broadcast journalism. The goal was and still is to at some point take Wayne Larrabee's job. I'm a huge Packers fan and just a big broadcast person
Love it.
in general. So that was always the goal. Football and soccer were my driving forces during playing sports, but also the sports that I followed and covered a lot. And once COVID hit a couple years ago, there was a huge push for people to get behind the camera because everybody and their mothers, sisters, aunts, and their dog all had a phone trying to talk and communicate with people, right? So there's a bigger push for people to try to get behind the camera to help those trying to tell their story. And for me, that was a big piece for me. Wanted to be able to help different businesses and brands tell their story in a fun and unique way that also was engaging and was also not stingy or stuffy. Wanted to provide a more fun and kind of lifestyle feel to the content that I provide. So got in more so with video, just in some really basic stuff. And then my name kept getting passed around in the Green Bay, Door County, kind of Fox Valley area.
Sure.
And then from there, I've just been able to kind of grow and now do a lot of different work. I've traveled as far as San Diego, down to Florida to do work. I've done stuff obviously here pretty locally and love telling people stories in a fun and engaging way, and fell into it, like I said. So people were like, "Oh, you seem to really, do a really great job." I was like, "I'm literally still figuring it out every single day," and I'm sure you feel that way as a business owner too. You're like, "I appreciate the compliments, and I'm glad that you love the items that we're putting out, but like, I'm still figuring this out right every day." So,
it's a never-ending process. I truly think that.
100%.
So how long has Colburn Creative been going, and like what did you do? Like, obviously you said you were into broadcasting, but like what'd you do right before like you got this idea? Was it right from that moment you knew you wanted to switch to this during that, or like how did that all like play out?
Yeah, I have a heavy marketing background, so I've always done stuff for other businesses and brands, and still do some stuff for a manufacturing company down in Manitowoc as well. So being able to stay in the marketing world, but then be more hands-on with the visual content creation, was something that I've seen people would take photos and video content. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like those people are so talented and have such a beautiful eye for it. And then the more and more that I've done it, I've realized, okay, this is really what I love and what I want to continue to do going forward. So it's been a little over 2 years that Colburn Creative has been functional and running around. Last year was really the first full-on year, I would say. We had a lot of fun, a lot of great success. I was able to bring in a few other people as far as more of like a contractor or part-time role, which was really awesome. And then this year is a lot more about expanding and kind of finding the niches that we feel more focused on, which are really more of that like tourism, real estate, lifestyle, and sports are really kind of the 4 areas that we've found that we have success in and that we really feel like we can tell those stories at a high level.
Yeah, sure. And, I think it's like crazy because, you're talking marketing, you're talking doing videos. That's all leads into social media, right?
Correct.
That's before COVID, we weren't into social media, making videos, content creation. It just kind of feels like you either had to get in or you got out. You know, that's kind of the only basis you had, because, you know, we all had a part in our lives where we're all stuck at home, and you had to find something to do to keep your business relevant. And I feel like with social media, especially in your world, like, does it ever, it's like a revolving door. I feel like, where, you know, some of it's based off trends, some of it's based off, you know, genuine, you know, how genuine it can be. And, you know, some of it's based off, you know, now the new drone footage, stuff like that. Like, how different does your work change within the style of how social media plays out? Like, how often do you like have to like keep watching to see like, okay, people are doing this now, that's super cool, you know, like, do you have to like keep up with that, or how's that all work?
100%. Yeah. I feel like the best way to continue to get better is to watch those that are doing what you want to do at a really high level. And so following those creators and following those brands that are also in the same areas of the kind of work that I would like to do or am doing, and say, okay, great, that's cool. They did a really awesome transition shot that way. And if they show behind the scenes footage, I'm a huge sucker for behind the scenes footage now, because I'm like, how did you do that?
I love that too.
So when they show stuff like that, I'm like, that makes so much sense, because to the viewer, you're like, my mind is blown. What happened here? So that's been a big thing for me. I really love just trying things. I've been blessed to have a lot of really cool friends and just colleagues that will say yes to just random content days for me. But I'm like, hey, I want to go practice shooting this type of lifestyle content, or hey, you have a really nice house. Can I come practice and shoot some real estate footage, so I can make sure that I'm constantly preparing myself for when a client does come up and say, hey, we'd love it if you tried this, or what does it look like if you flew the drone in the house and out the window and back around the patio? Great, let's go try it. Let's have some fun with it. So I've learned to say yes a lot, and then kind of figure out after I've said yes what I do and don't like. There's certain genres or areas of things that I'm like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, or I'll do it for the right opportunity. But just staying coachable and always trying to learn. And as you mentioned, as I'm sure you've experienced too, social media is wild, and you're like, well, this thing worked 2 days ago, and why is the same thing not working now? Like, it doesn't make any sense why that happens sometimes.
Yeah. I don't think social media makes sense at all, to be honest. And they're all different.
No.
That's always been my thing, is I sometimes, like, some things work on some platforms, some work on the other. But it's rarely that they always work on that it works on all of them.
Correct.
You know, that's just the way I've always felt, you know, especially with how different Instagram, how different TikTok, they all act, and their algorithms are so different. You know, especially for like a guy like I am, we're a clothing business. If you look at our TikTok page, our clothing, we don't push clothing rarely ever. The only thing I push is if we have a video about Wisconsin, I'm usually wearing our clothes. That's me pushing clothes there. But Instagram's completely different. Facebook's so different. So yeah, I give you props, and I think videographer, that is such a hard, and I don't want to say, you know, where it takes a lot out of you with projects. It's very time consuming. I try to do like editing myself, and I'm not going to lie, Baxter, it made me want to, like, I wanted to hurt myself. It made me want to take my eyeballs out of my head and never have them back on my body. Like, that's how I felt, because it just so much time, so much screen time, so much, you know, editing, amending to get it perfect. You know, I give you props. It's a tough gig, but when you do it and you have passion for it, you know, props to you. That's awesome.
I appreciate that. It's interesting too, right? Because I feel like we want to get so wrapped up in, we have to be creating all the time. And I actually just did a video about this a couple of days ago, saying it's such a common misconception that if you're not creating, that you're failing, or you're behind, or people maybe don't want to work with you, right? And that's not the case. The good news, and I've had a lot of smart people in my life speak into that and say, hey, if your phone is not ringing all the time, or you're just doing more editing than you are shooting right now, that's not a bad thing. You're blessed to have the work that you've got, but that also means bigger things are coming, right? Like, if you were constantly going, you were going to completely burn out, and you're going to end up hating the work that you love. So,
yes.
Reminding myself of that too, of saying, oh, I've got footage, or I've got something that I could do. Or if you've got those deadlines, obviously you want to do right by your clients, but at the same time, if you're constantly doing it, you are going to get tired of it and you're going to get burned out. And I'm sure some days you're like, I don't want to look at another swatch and another color and another, hat design. I'm like, yes, I love them all. They're great. But like, you're probably like, I need 5 minutes to go be with my family.
Yeah.
And not focus on any of this.
And I've learned whenever the phone's not ringing, enjoy it. Don't go looking for
100%.
Don't go looking for it. It'll find you. And like I said, I kind of want to get your insight. Because we're starting to dive into a couple videography, like having some like professional stuff done on our social media, TikTok page. Like, what do you tell your clients? If you're making these videos for their social media, what do you tell them when because a lot of people want to base it off views, right? And as sad as it is, some of the most effort used videos and some of the most talent that's ever been put into videos don't do well. And it's not like the videographer's fault, but like how's that work with your clients when that conversation gets brought up where it's like, hey, I went and did what I was supposed to.
Correct.
And I'm sure that's happened to you where you've had some tough conversations. And so I want to know how that plays out for you, because I see it on our end as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of it for me is when I talk to a client for the first time, my first question almost immediately is, what is the goal for the content that we're creating? Because if your goal is, well, we want 20,000 views on this video, great. Then I know that we need to make this, not that you don't want to make every piece of content engaging, but that sets up a little bit different how you shoot it and how you frame it. Mm-hmm. Whereas if they're saying, oh, we really just want to promote this new shirt that we have, or we're hiring and we need 3 applicants. Great. So I'm hearing 3, right? I need to create this to get in. If you talk to them after a week and we only got 75 views on our video, but we got 25 applications. Well, fantastic, right? We did the job. It all depends on what the goal is of that specific video. Sometimes you just create something because you just want to, right? Some of those fun throwaway things. The best video that I've ever had perform on any platform got, I think, like a couple, 80 or 90,000 views on something. And it was a 5-second clip from something that I took for my church. It wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't anything great. It was just one of the people on the worship team just putting their hands up and just worshiping. But it was a beautiful 6-second clip. But I was like, it's just a nice little thing. I'll post it out. And for some reason, that's the one. I'm like, not the one that I've spent 7 hours editing or a 3-day shoot. Like none of that stuff, right? So like I said, it all just depends on what the goal is. And that's why I always start with my client and say, what is the story we're trying to tell? What's the goal of what we're working on together? Is it to just promote you? Is it to tell a story? Is it what's the call to action that you need us to accomplish together?
For sure.
Not everybody gets that, right? They're like, I only got 600 views. That must not be that good. But depends on what your goal is with that specific piece of content. And
I guess for me, I've always told people before TikTok, we started making TikTok creation. I was never a big social media guy. I posted like when we had new clothes, but I wasn't very active. I didn't make videos. I wasn't super into that. And I just told people, they're like, oh my gosh, our TikTok page is doing so well. It's getting all these views. And I told them, it's like, you have to really enjoy whether or not you get views or not. You have to enjoy what you're pushing out. And that's what kind of changed it for me, where, when we first started and we weren't getting as crazy views, you really have to enjoy and have passion for what you're pushing. And just be like, you know what, if this video gets 50 views, I've always thought of it in my brain, that's 50 people that saw something that I'm doing. So,
Put those people in a room, right? If you get people that see a video like, whoa, 400 people in a room,
it's crazy how like people see the K behind a number and they're like, oh my gosh, I need 10,000 views. I'm like, I hope you understand, you're selling out like a small venue. Like if people see that. So I've always been like, it's became so saturated in the social media aspect where people want views, but it's like you have to push something you love and not give, and you just can't, you can't give a shit about the views, because at the end of the day, if you're putting that passion in, eventually people that have the same passion for you will see it.
Correct.
So,
and that's where that engagement comes in too, right? I'm sure like your best performing ones are probably the ones that have just a laundry list of comments in the section being like, oh my gosh, I love that about Culver's too, or oh, I love that hat.
Sure.
Right? Like that's the engagement I've noticed too is far more valuable, because
oh my gosh,
businesses and brands and potential customers are sitting there watching saying, how is he going to respond to this comment? I'm curious to see. because even if your video, like you said, if you get 100 views, but you get 75 comments on it for some strange, anomaly, like you're like, oh, like something triggered and registered with a viewer, and therefore all of this has now come out of it. Therefore, that video gets pushed to more people.
Oh,
photo gets pushed to more people.
And I've always told people it's kind of like when you create a video, and it starts up here and it slowly starts going down.
Yep.
It's like I don't know if you've ever played like Big Buck Hunter, where like they're shooting a can and it keeps staying in the air.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think of like whoever's shooting it, that's like a comment. When you comment, it keeps your video relevant and kind of still up in the air. Mm-hmm. So that's how I've always thought of it. And I like, if you go to our page, you see that I literally comment on everything. Because I truly enjoy the engagement. I think of everyone who is in our community as a friend of mine. And as crazy as that takes up 1,000 minutes of a day for me, trying to comment, but I truly enjoy the engagement. So, but I agree where some people I think just don't understand. It's like, even if you create a good video, it doesn't always happen the way you want it. But you have to cherish the small things to be able to have the big things. So okay, it's fresh, brand new year. What does Colburn Creative have coming up? What do you have cooking?
Well, we've had a big push for tourism actually to start the year. So one of our clients is Visit Manitowoc, and the tourism director came to me last August and said, hey, we need to take Manitowoc from the 1990s to the 2020s because their content was that old, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So tourism has been a huge push for that. Helped them recently relaunch their website with a lot of fresh images, some stuff for their winter promotional activities that you can do in the Manitowoc area. So that's been a lot of fun. And real estate and lifestyle have been a much bigger push for me this year than I thought they were going to be. I've already done a couple of shoots for a few companies, did something for a bag company out of Germany. So that was really fun.
Cool.
To promote some of their luggage and their bags for them. And then I've got some great clients in the real estate industry and a couple of golf courses as well, actually. So
sweet.
The fun part about it is that there's a lot of different stuff that's coming down the pipeline. And that's why when I said at the beginning, hybrid is really kind of the word that I've adapted, because some clients want just a couple of pieces of photos, some want video, some want both. But I've learned that my goal when I started out is I wanted to be a great sports videographer. I'm like, I know the industry, I played it, I coached it, I broadcasted it. Sports should be no problem. But then I quickly realized that there were so many other opportunities and options to go out there and to try things. And for me, being able to be invested in what I feel like are 4 really quality areas has been a blessing. And there's always a random thing. There's always a random piece that'll show up. I'm like, oh, didn't expect that I was going to shoot maternity photos or do this wedding or do whatever it was, right? Like, but stuff like that comes up, and I've learned that if there's a good person or the right opportunity tied to it, right, then go for it.
That's creating a connection, right?
I do got a question. 100%. So have you ever had any like weird requests? Like something that's off the wall that you wouldn't expect it to like video or take pictures of, I guess?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I've had anything too crazy, thankfully, yet, but like I filmed for a bridal shower, which is kind of a strange thing to do because it's mostly present opening and games. But I was also doing the wedding video as well. So they're like, oh, would you mind? Like, we'd like to have the content for both. And I'm like, sure. But it was definitely one of those shoots walking around where I was like, I'm not really sure officially what I'm supposed to do here, but I will do my best. And they ended up wanting more photos of like, oh, we want to, the bride wanted photos with grandma and this aunt and that. So that ended up being more of the focus, but that was probably the only one I would say so far that I'm like, that's a little strange. But thankfully there hasn't been too many weird requests yet, because you do kind of have that power of saying yes and no, but I'd probably be the only one so far. Where I was like,
hey, well, watch.
Out of my way.
I'll say, just watch. Now the next one that someone's going to reach out, it's going to be super weird, and you're going to be like, thanks, Kyle. I appreciate it. That's because of you.
Right, exactly. I'm fine, Kyle.
Yeah, right.
Come on, Kyle.
Yeah, hey, and if we're ever up in that area, I'd love to connect. We're starting to do all these videos, trying to do tour Wisconsin, and if we're up in the De Pere area, I'll definitely be reaching out so we can maybe do some collabs or something like that. But
absolutely,
hey, we don't want to take up any more time. We took up 20 minutes already. Hey, I appreciate that. For everyone that's listening, this was super last minute, kind of like everything else in my life. So I really appreciate it. Where can people find you on like Instagram? Where can people find you?
Sure. If you want to follow my personal page, it's at Baxter Colburn, or my business page for Colburn Creative is Colburn Creative CO, so co at the end. Website Colburn Creative Co at .com. Those are the best places to find me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff. So just telling people's stories one opportunity at a time and having fun doing it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, man, have a great week, and let's stay in touch.